We are live on the Oxfit podcast. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great week. Hope your week got off to a rough start, but you found your rhythm. And looking forward to the weekend, even though it's supposed to be going back down in temperature. So we'll figure it out, though. This is what winter is, right? It's so weird how here we get winter in like January and February, but there's nothing. November, December is beautiful most of the time. Been most places where December is always freezing, but here it's hard to get used to that. It's like pushed out a little bit, right? It's more February, which kind of messes up your plans when you're trying to get off to a good start for the year. But like we talk about a lot, that's why it's important doing it now, because if you do it now, then it's easy by the time March, April, May, coming on into the summer months. We have a nice spring here. So if you can do it now, whatever you're trying to do, then by the time we get to March, April, May, you'll be crushing it. So small wins is what we've been talking about. A lot of the podcasts have been talking about this week. Like we even had a small win, like we couldn't get in. We managed to get like a half day of classes on Monday, and then Savannah did an online workout. Like that's a small win, right? What small wins have you had this week? So last time we were on here, every Tuesday I wanted to update my Atomic Habits progress. And I wasn't able to do it because of Ice Mageddon 2026, which we all just survived. But I did manage to do it on Wednesday. And so I managed to do a whole day. I don't want to show you my chicken scratch, but it looks like this. So we've got a habit, a score. Is it positive? Is it neutral? Or is it negative? And then the reason you think that, right? So looking at my morning routine, and then you look at your afternoon. It says evening routine, but I just did morning and afternoon. It's kind of nice because my day is split. Like I work out right in the middle of the day. So I kind of have like a good separation between morning and afternoon. But most people I would say would probably do morning going through work, and then you'd have your evening routine that might start a little bit later if you do it, right? And no habits. The thing that I've learned from the book is no habits actually have a score. It's just your interpretation of them, right? So whether they're good or the bad or neutral is up to you. So some of these habits for some people might be negative. So just thinking of it like that. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever really done the homework. So the first week I did this where I took stock of my week, and then now I've done this scorecard. And it's been really cool because usually you guys might be like me. I'm the kind of person that to start the year will just throw in 5 new habits and see which one sinks or swims. And like, I won't even look at what habits I've been doing well. I'll just jump into a bunch of new habits. Whereas this has been having this time to like set it up. I'm kind of glad my year got off to a few false starts because having this time to set it up has meant that I can actually look at what I've been doing. And I kind of thought before I did what is it called? The first one, the time evaluation or whatever it is. I'll have to give you the real names. Before I did the time evaluation, damn, I wish I knew the real name. Before I did that, I thought like I'm not doing enough and like I need to do more and I need to do. And then when I looked at my day and I saw that like on most days 18 to 20 hours were filled with things that I was doing. It's not that I'm doing too much. It's not that I'm not doing enough. It's that I'm just not doing the right things in the right order, right? Which kind of like, yeah, took a little bit of the pressure off. Like, I was like, oh no, you just have different things going on right now. Like, it used to be that my whole day was spent working out and working. Now there's kids and there's other aspects of my business that I've got to work on. And there's other aspects of growth and like relationships and stuff like that that I've got to work on that before my life was so simple. It seemed like, oh, I could work out 2 or 3 times a day. I was working out when I was, you know, playing basketball, I was working out 6 hours a day, right? So now it feels like I'm not doing enough, but then you look at that time evaluation, you're like, "Oh man, I am actually as busy as I thought I am. It's just where should I prioritize things," which is really cool. And then when I did this, I got to see what habits I think are good and what habits I think are bad and what habits I think are neutral, but just have to get done, and how I can stack little things together. And some of them I just got to get rid of. The one thing I really struggle with, and I want to know what you guys struggle with, is I want a better bedtime routine. I really, really want a better bedtime routine. But by the end of the day, I'm exhausted mentally and physically. And I kind of just want to watch some like comedy or, yeah, like just something easy that makes me laugh and is like not stressful. And I know some people, I've always said that I want to read, but I like to read in the morning now because I can use that tool for the day. Reading at night is just not a thing that is going to work for me. It hasn't worked for the past few years. I've had it on my list for the past few years. And so in my habits that I set for this year, my 5 basic ones that I've been working on, that I've been doing with my men, I've been doing carnivore, which I've crushed every day, gratitude, which I've crushed every day, working out, crushing that, taking my supplements. Cooking, I've done once, and I'm going to do it again this week. But then I've got no technology after 9 o'clock, and I've missed it every day. And everything else, I'm doing great. Eating well, taking my supplements, being grateful, um, just everything, working out really well. Everything's going good on that stuff. Being present, like that's not stuff that I got on my list, but like that's something that I'm really been focused on. But I just cannot turn off technology. And it's not like I'm on my phone. My phone's in a different room, but I'm just like watching garbage to fall asleep. So yeah, I've tried reading, and the books that I like wake me up too much because they're like self-development kind of stuff. Um and I just at the end of the day can't bring myself to read even some like nonfiction. So if you have any tips, I would love to hear them. Any tips at all, let me know. I have a special guest coming on this morning, Carlos. So hopefully he jumps on here at some point. Otherwise, you just have to listen to me talk to myself. Happy Thursday, Salty. Guys, it's the 29th of January. And like I said, the one thing I've been struggling with has been that one habit: no tech after 9. I haven't checked that box since the 5th of January till today. I haven't checked that box one time. Not good. So, what do you guys do? What are your tips? Because I know it would help me sleep better. I know it's not a good habit. I know it's not a healthy habit. So, what is it that you are doing to get you to sleep? Oh, that's probably why he's not on. Copy. No, I did send it to him, didn't I? Maybe not. So yeah, tell me what you're doing. What does your nighttime routine look like? And like what can I try to win the evening that is not read a boring book? Because I've had a long day. Reading a boring book is not the thing that I'm gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. I might do it for 1 or 2 days and then I'll be done. So yeah, let me know. Just sending Carlos the link. I thought I'd done it, but I think I just sent him a screenshot. Savannah, you're there. What do you do? I know you. My wife just passes out instantly. Like she just closes her eyes and goes to sleep. I don't understand. But I suppose that, well, actually, I have a theory on that. I think you have every relationship has a person that can't sleep because their mind is like racing and out of control. and they have the other person that just passes out instantly. And I think most couples have that person. It's not necessarily, you know, the husband or the wife. It can be either way. So, but I've seen it and I've talked to so many people that somehow the opposites attract in terms of that. Like one person is up and like a night owl and the other person just lays down on their shoulder and falls asleep. And that's why you have to watch each show 19 times or start a movie over 3 times. Everybody has that for some reason. But Lauren's one of them fall asleep instantly kind of people. So whenever we're watching a series, I'm either 2 or 3 episodes ahead, or I have to watch the same episode 3 times if we try and do it in the week. Oh, Carlos. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Dude, looking good.
Can you hear me?
Looking fresh over there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like
Where
the
you,
jacket.
where you at?
I'm at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
What room is that?
The upstairs of the house.
You
We
got
made it into like,
upstairs?
yeah. Well, it's like a little loft area that we made into like a home office. So whenever we work from home, we come up here,
Oh,
or
actually,
sometimes we go downstairs.
I remember talking about that because I remember saying, Zoe, like, why did like we would take the upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, and she was like, I don't want to go up there, and I was like, dude, when I was a kid, I would have been like, I got the upstairs, leave me alone. But yeah,
It's great. I mean, it has a bathroom, a closet, everything.
nice,
So,
nice, dude. You're looking fresh this morning.
well,
Trim
thank you.
beard, hair looks good. Your hair's getting long.
Yeah, I actually am going to get a haircut tomorrow.
Okay,
Thanks for pointing that out.
it's long, dude.
Yeah,
You might be
it's
able to
been a
put that
while.
in a little bun,
No,
which is good. You
I'm
got a
not a
great
dance.
hairline.
Really?
I think so. Mine's moving further and further back. So, hey man, I've known you for 10 years.
Yeah. Wow.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go all the way back because it still blows my mind that 10 years ago, it was probably, well, no, I think I was doing like park workouts and stuff like that around this time 10
Yeah.
years ago, but it was coming up and then we met and like the first time we met was you like up a ladder painting a wall in my gym. Well, something like that, right?
I think so, but I thought we went out as a group before. Remember we went? I think it was like the Bond Identity or some sort of Bond movie that we went to watch, and
Was that
or
before?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then after that, like uh KP was like, oh, Ken is opening his gym,
Yeah.
and he's like, you want to come and help? I was like, hell yeah, I want to come and help.
Yeah, that's so funny. Like we literally just met. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah,
And then you're up a ladder painting a wall, helping like do you remember that space when we first walked in?
yeah, yeah. I remember going through like 2 or 3 different drill bits, because we were trying to put the rig up, and
Oh, that was
they
the
just
worst.
kept breaking.
That was the worst bit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
We had yeah, like I literally had no tools. So it was I think like Sean's drill or someone like
yeah.
that. And it was Brad had a bunch of
Brad.
tools. You
Yeah,
had tools. And then
yeah.
we would just everything was going well except drilling the holes in the floor to put the rig down.
Yeah,
That was the hardest bit.
yeah.
And then I don't know how, but do you remember like there was some construction workers working on like another part of the building?
I think so. Yeah.
And I asked them if we could borrow their drill.
Hmm.
And we borrowed their drill, and it was like a knife going through butter. And we'd
Yeah,
spent probably 4 hours drilling holes,
yeah.
just like drill bit after drill bit, burning out, not going. And then this dude's hammer drill just went like, whoop,
True. Yeah,
and we were just like, oh,
yeah.
should have gone and rented a proper drill to get into this. That was bad because we were like
Yeah, we're taking
Oh my
turns, and
god,
even Brad
taking
was putting
turns.
all his weight on it,
Yep,
and it wasn't going anywhere. It's like, what is going on?
dude. Some of the things we learned doing that. The
Mm,
the rack in East Atlanta is still just not drilled into the floor because it just like you don't even have to drill them into the floor once you've got them up, right? Like you
yeah,
can, but they don't move. So yeah,
yeah,
that's so funny. So yeah, man. 10 years. So how old Zoe?
9. She's turning 10 this year.
So
So
so you didn't even have any kids when we met.
no, I think we were in the planning stages of
Yeah.
it. Like we're just thinking about, yeah, growing our family at that time. Um, and yeah, it's actually pretty interesting that she's about the same. She grew up with the gym.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
Yeah, baby Zoe's now 9 years old.
yeah,
And yeah, I still think of her as baby when I think of Zoe. Like I saw her singing the national anthem at the basketball
yeah,
game on the weekend, and I was like, "Who is that? That's like a
yeah.
teenager over there."
I was gonna say, man, she's 9, but she in her head she's 16. So
Yeah. So yeah,
yeah.
man, tell me about your journey with the gym. Like when you first came in, when you first started working out, and then like,
Um, yeah. So I don't mean to sound cliche or anything, but I think I was in a, like you said, in a journey to find, a home gym of sorts. I've been to, and I don't know if you can name drop or not, but I've been, I was going to other gyms around the area, big chain gyms, and I noticed that,
like a Globo gym, like a big like
yeah, like
yeah,
you
Planet
know,
Fitness style, LA
Planet,
Fitness.
yeah,
Yeah.
LA Fitness, yeah, and then also like, I noticed that after like 2 or 3 months, I would just, you know, like stop going. I would come up with some sort of excuse as to like why I can't make it today, and that I can't make it today, continue on. And then I was like, well, maybe I need something closer to home. And there was like a local gym, by near the Highlands, that I was like, okay, that seems to be work. Some might work, because they have different classes, and kickboxing and all this other stuff. And I was like, let me just try it out. And I did that same thing, 3 months, and I just leveled off or whatever. And it's funny because, again, when KP was telling us or telling me about it, like, hey, my neighbor's doing uh, classes at the park, because I think his goal is to open up a gym. I was like, that's great.
Hmm.
And so I went and did a few classes at the park, and then we ended up like going out, and then he's like, oh, like Anna's opening his gym, and I started coming and helping, and then I remember you tell me, I think after we were done and you were gonna officially open, you asked me to sit down with you, and I don't know if you remember, but I used to have the couches all the way in the back where the runners were, with
Hmm.
the table. Um, and so we sat down there, and you just pretty much told me, it's like, hey man, like, what are your goals, and where are you trying to get at? And I remember jokingly said, well, I want, my goal is to look like The Rock. And you were like, well, let's get you started on steroids then. And I was like, no, but in all honesty, I just want to make sure, like, I think I mentioned that we were thinking about growing our family. I was like, I just want to, if I get older, or when I get older, I want to be able to keep up with my kids. Like if I have the muscles and all that, that's fine. I said, but I just want to be able to be mobile, keep up with my kids, and just have a healthy lifestyle. And you were like, well, you're in the right place for that. And so then I started my journey. And I think after 3 months, I was like, I was waiting for that, like, face to kick, and we're like, nah,
Mm.
it's good, and just taper down. But it never happened with Oxford. Like, and looking back, I think it was a combination of everything. Like the culture, the coaches were, at that time, you as a coach, you know, and then keeping you accountable. And I think that's what made the difference, because what I looking back, I realized that even the gym at the Highlands, um, they really care about you as a person. They, sure, when you go in and sign the contract and all that, they're like, yeah, great, high fiving and all that. But after that, they don't really care, you
Mm.
know. And obviously, big gyms like LA Fitness, Planet Fitness or whatever, they, you know, you were just another number or another membership. And I think that was the turning point with Oxford, that there was someone really keeping you accountable. And even until now, like I was at the Saturday workout, and you're like, Carlos, what are you doing? Grab onto the handles. Like someone that like knows when you're like not putting in the effort, and it's like, hey, what are you doing? Put in the effort. Like I know you can do this.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that's what like it was a turning point for me. The accountability, and knowing that someone knows me at the gym, knowing that I come in and it's, hey Carlos, how you doing, and like knowing, yeah, knowing your name, like knowing who you are, kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
in the other gyms, like I said, it was just like, hey man, how you doing? All right, grab a seat or grab a, whatever. Like there was never like there was not that personal touch.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's a difference, right? Between, I think we have a lot of gyms now where they've got they've got all the equipment, they've got, like the cool lighting, they've got the logos, they've got the t-shirts, but they're still not understanding the difference between a coach and a cheerleader,
right.
right? And like, you can put these great cheerleaders with microphones and they're singing and dancing, and it looks great on Instagram, it looks great on a live feed, looks great on Peloton, it looks good. But a coach doesn't need to do all that dancing and singing and like,
Hmm.
kissing your ass. A coach will know you, and they'll know what words you need and what little things you need at the right time. Right. And it's a
Hmm.
big difference. It seems like such a subtle thing between a coach and a cheerleader, but a coach actually knows your goals, knows what you're working towards, knows how hard you work, knows how consistent you are. So they can give you some real time feedback on that movement at that time. Right.
Hmm.
Whereas like a cheerleader is just there just to mm, keep the class energy high. That's a very big
Hmm.
difference. Right. Some good coaches have some good cheerleader aspects to them, but bad, you know, coaches are just cheerleaders, in my
Hmm.
opinion. And like, that's what kind of gets lost along the way. It's not about how many bikes, rowers, and ski ergs, and if the barbells and plates are new. It's if somebody's watching you and they know what you need to become a better version of yourself in that class. And that's like, that's the foundation of coaching. That's the foundation of Oxfit. That's what
Hmm.
we talk about in all our meetings, like that's why we exist, is to create that experience for people when they come in.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
why we've taken it to the next level with our coaching program, right? Like
Hmm.
our coaching program now, if you really want that, someone will hold you accountable to the things you said every single day, pretty much, and check
Hmm.
in with you and like send you a spreadsheet and look at that spreadsheet every day. And that's what staying true to a program is about, not like, how many different classes they have and,
Yeah,
what the lighting looks like in the gym and
yeah.
how cool it is on Instagram. So, and that's kind of what I think you captured there, is like you tried all the other stuff,
Hmm.
and 3 months was the point where you just like, I'm going to check out now, because no one had said, well, what are you training for? It's
Hmm.
going to take longer than 3 months. So you can't quit now. You're just getting going, you know? It's
Yep.
cool. And so
Yep.
the first 3 months was key, it sounds like. And that's what we find with a lot of people we work with, right? And
Hmm.
that first 3 months, how did that then change your mentality to like about a year or 2 years or going from there?
I was seeing results. And like I said, the accountability play a big factor. Like not to be redundant, but yeah, I stopped going to other gyms, and no phone call, no text, no nothing. Like okay, well, you stop going, whatever. And over here, like I remember, like around the 3 month, period or whatever. Like if I wasn't going to the gym, I would get a text, like, hey, where are you? Like we haven't seen you at the gym yet. And I was like, oh, like I never experienced this.
Yeah.
And so then just keeping you accountable, and then because of the accountability, like I hate this, but like just habits form, and then I just noticed that after that 3 month hump, it was almost like a thing, and still is, like I need to get to the gym, I need to get to the gym. Like now, you know um my wife, even Zoe, was like, Dad, are you going to the gym today? I was like, yeah, I'm going to the gym today.
Hmm.
you know um and so it's just a habit forming. And so then next thing I know, it's like a year down the road, and I was like, holy crap, like, you know, I'm, coming 20 days out of the month, to the gym, and I was seeing results, and like I wasn't getting, as tired as, as I used to. Like, I still have sometimes, like a little like self measure. Like I remember, like before, Oxford, I would try to run the park, and I would make it up to like Sydney, and I was like, oh man, I need a break, like I can, just, walk it off and then keep running and then walk some more and then keep running. And I remember like after going to Oxford for, I want to say like maybe 4 to 6 months, like I tried to run out again the park, and I was able to like keep that run for the entire park, and I was like, okay, this something's working,
Yeah.
and then like obviously like my lifts, I haven't been there, I think, in a while, but I remember like the first time I was able to lift more than 200 pounds, and I was like, holy crap, like I never thought that, I would be able to be like past a 200, you know, pound deadlift, and I remember putting an Instagram post like made the 200 club because there was like a 200 club
Hmm.
thing at the gym back then. And I was like, made the 200, 200-pound club, and for some people, it's like, oh, 200 pounds, like that's nothing, but for me, it was a big deal because I was like, I would never thought I would be able to lift this much, or
Yeah.
deadlift this much, you know, just little things that I saw as progress is what like kept me coming. And the
Oh,
atmosphere
I
of
mean, going from running like from your house to running to the park, right? And like that being your
mm,
test to then like you've got a marathon medal now, like
mhm,
you've done a marathon, Chicago Marathon, you've done how many 5Ks, stuff like
mhm,
that. Like it's crazy the difference, right? When you think of it like that.
absolutely.
You have a whole rack full of medals of things that we've done like that. You did High Rocks last year,
Mhm.
like so yeah. So how did you when did you realize like, okay, I'm an athlete now? Like when did that start to
It's funny that you mentioned that because again, going back, like I never thought myself as an athlete. Like, I mean, we can go back to like growing up. Like, I was always like a bookworm. Like I was always into like math. I think at one point, like I joined a chess club. So like the fabric of an athlete was never in me. But I can't really pinpoint when that shift became where I was like, oh man, like I'm an athlete. Like I need this to survive. I need this for my mental health. You know, if I had to, put a number to it, or when that happened, I would say maybe a year and a half into being with Oxford, I was like, okay, this is a life changing event for me. This was a
Mhm.
life changing event. This is like now I'm gonna be this person, right?
And what
And
was it like? What had you achieved at that point? Like, what had you done that made you think like, okay, yeah, I'm an athlete.
I was able to, like I said, lift the lifts that I was doing, the my self test about running around the park,
Hmm.
you know, uh, going to, I think we did like a, uh mud dash or one of those mud runs or whatever, and me be able to complete all the obstacles and not get winded. And I was doing it with a friend of mine who was like getting winded. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
man, like this is good, like I'm doing something right. And so again, maybe it's just like little things, but I was like, I started noticing like the metals being, in the closet or accumulating in the closet. And I was like, I guess this is it. Like this is what I'm doing, and that's when the mind shift switched to like, I'm an athlete now, and
Mhm.
like I wanna take this to the next level and see where I can get. And like, trust me, 10 years ago, if you were somebody like, hey, in 10 years you're gonna run a marathon, I was like, yeah, right, get out of here, kind of thing, But I've done things that I never thought I could do. Put it that way,
That's
because
awesome.
of that mind shift.
Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, like you've done. What are the things that you're the most proud of that you've done? Is it like the Chicago Marathon? Is that up there?
I would put it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chicago Marathon. There's a few lifts that we've done, or the lifts that I've done, that are personal best when we did the Oxford lift off. That I'm like, wow, I did this, and it was just one rep. That's
Yeah.
great. Um, Definitely like the I don't know if you remember when we did that Spartan race, that it was like 10 miles, I think, and it was like raining and
I know which
muddy
one you're
and
talking about.
I was like,
Your wife's still not talking to you the same.
no, it's not. No, she's
Yeah.
not.
After that.
Um,
But yeah, that was the Black Mountain in North Carolina or something,
yep,
right? And
yep.
they'd had record rainfall, and it took us. It was only 10 miles. No, it wasn't even that. It's probably what 7 miles, something like
Yeah,
that.
it
And
was like a 10K, I think. It
yeah, let's say
went
a
from a
10K.
5K to a
So
10K.
yeah, we'll say 10K. So 6 miles.
Yeah,
And so, like, say you're going slow. Say you're doing like 15-minute miles, right? That's like 2 hours, whatever. Took us what, 4 hours, maybe
it was
five.
more than that. Yeah, yeah,
And
and
there was
they're like
how many of us? Like 15. We all stayed
15. Yeah,
together, and you're supposed to just like paddle through this stream. Do you remember that? And it was up to here. It was supposed to just be like a little. You just were jumping on the rocks, and
yeah,
we were swimming up to here. The river
yeah.
was up to here as we were walking through it, and it honestly was awesome, though, wasn't it?
One of the best experiences I've ever had, to
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah.
Like, I mean, we all ended up like scratched and muddy and like just banged up. But I remember that night, everybody was just hanging out and like we had the best time ever.
And we
And
hired that house. It was a
yeah,
NASCAR driver's house. I wish I remembered
yeah,
his name. We
in front
hired
of the
it.
lake.
Yeah, and we had um, all the video games and stuff, and he had a games room,
Yeah.
a board room. It was a mansion, dude. It was cool. Yeah, that was
Hmm.
fun. Yeah, and that was one of the hardest. That was still to this day one of the hardest things that we've done. That was
Yeah.
crazy. It just sounded like it was never going to end. We just kept going up and down the
I
mountain.
I kept looking back at my wife and she was not talking to me towards the end of it. She was so mad, but I think
Was
now
it
she
really Greg Biffle, Cash, or are you just saying that? If it was, that's cool because I do remember that name, but I don't know if I know that name from. But it was an awesome house, and then they had like an extra house where everybody was sleeping. It was dope.
yeah. Hmm. I think that's I don't know if Cash ended up sleeping there, but I remember there was like you said, another house, and it was just a bunch of bunk beds in there,
Yeah.
and then we ended up like staying there.
So we have a coaches course starting next month, and so he sadly just passed away in a plane crash.
That's what I was thinking. I think it's the same guy who was in a plane accident.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
Well, he had a beautiful house that he was. He had his own gas station. Remember that? Anyway, yeah, we're doing a coaches course this month, which we haven't done in a while, just with like the way the last 5 years have been. But I thought it's going to be on February 21st and 28th. If
Okay.
anybody has any interest in learning more about the Oxfit coaching program and how not the coaching program, but like our internship program and like how we train coaches and stuff, then let me know. Get in touch on that. But let's get into that with you. Like, when did it happen that you decided to try and be a coach, or do you remember when that happened?
I want to say maybe like 2, 3 years into the program.
Hmm.
Like I was telling you earlier, after I noticed that I was getting some results and and my progression as an athlete within the gym, I knew I wanted to like take it to the next level, and so I started like googling back then, like how to become a CrossFit coach or a coach and stuff like that. And there was like a bunch of other like that stuff that I came up with that I was looking into. And then I can't remember how the conversation went. I don't know if I came up to you and was like, "Hey, I would like to be a coach," or it was the other way around. I don't remember. But then to me, it was like, "Oh wow!" Like they see something in me, or there's something in me that I'll be able to contribute. And to me, that was the next step to become a coach. And what I kept thinking back at, is my own experience and how many people would go to a gym and not have that one person who always greets them at the door or like knows their name, knows whether what they're working for or what they're working towards, and then to your point, like not to be a cheerleader, but when you see someone like, hey, I think you're taking it easy, and if it's because of an injury, that's fine, but like if you can, go the extra mile, pick up, put on more weight or run a little faster or what have you, and to have that person that is always, like keeping you accountable for making sure that you are meeting the goals that you want to set for yourself, or not to be, for lack of a better term, like slacking off, it's not going to let you do that. I think that was very helpful for me. And so again, looking back, I'm like, well, if I can be that for someone else, who again never thought of themselves as an athlete, was, and or just trying out a gym just to try it out, and give them that experience. I would like to be part of that. And again, I never thought of to be a coach in any other gym other than when I was at Oxford, because again, the culture, the energy, that's something I want to be part of, or be at the fabric of, be part of
Yeah.
the fabric.
Did you struggle with going from like that attitude of not being like not considering yourself an athlete to then thinking about a coach? Like, was that a difficult transition? Like to be like, why
Uh,
why why would I be the coach if I don't even didn't even consider myself an athlete 2 years ago?
Yeah, because I saw myself as holding myself to another level of standard, right? So me coming in, just to try out a gym is one level. A year and a half, into the program, and me considering myself as an athlete, it's another level. And then going from being an athlete to being a coach, it will be a different level. And so now, as a coach, and I still do, like I still make sure that I lead by example,
Mhm.
at the gym or even outside of the gym. And sometimes it pays off. Sometimes people see me outside of the gym and like, "Oh, Carlos, you're out for a run." It's like, "Yeah, I'm out for a run." Or, "Hey, Carlos, you're out, walking your kid." Like, "Yeah, I do other stuff outside the gym that is just not coaching." But at the same time, I want to make sure that, you know, again, not to be run, but lead by example, and making sure that, what we preach at the gym is also what we're doing outside. And to me, again, I saw that's a different level of keeping myself accountable, to make sure that, I stay true to myself, which is, or my new self, which in that case was, an athlete,
Mhm. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's cool. It's like it's almost like you get to use it as your own level of accountability, right?
Mhm,
It's like, well, when you become that, when you change your identity to I'm just somebody that goes and works out to I'm an
mhm,
athlete at this gym and I'm improving every day and I have goals that I want to achieve, then that's another level of accountability because an athlete doesn't eat like that. They don't drink like that. They don't stay on
mhm,
the couch all day. The athletes don't do that. So like that's your identity. And then it's like, okay, next level, I'm a coach. Now that's a leadership position, right? So like
mhm,
now it's not just I have to do this for me. I have to do this for somebody else, right? Like I have
mhm,
to show what it is that I believe. And like am I just saying this to you and then I don't walk the walk or talk the talk, you know?
mhm,
But I think one of the biggest things for me that I want people to understand about you and our coaching program is a lot of places that you go, a lot of these gyms that you go, the people at the front of the class are their best athletes, right? It's the best athlete. It's the guy that like wins. And that's what they see as leadership, right? Whereas what we see as leadership is like you talked about, the person that's going to partner up with the new person, the person that is going to say hello to the person over there that looks like they don't know anybody or they're a little bit nervous. Like that's the leaders that we look for. It's the
mhm,
person that maybe wasn't an athlete and has become an athlete, or it's the person that sometimes struggles to be consistent because they've got a real life, but they always find a way through. Like that's the real leader in the gym, not the person that's 21 that has no responsibilities that gets to work out 4 hours a day and beat everybody on a workout, right? Like
mhm,
there's no way our gym culture could follow that person. Like it doesn't make any sense. But like somebody like you that has a real life, real responsibilities, a full-time job, and then you're showing up at 5:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning and wanting to give more of yourself to other people, like that's a leader. That's who I want to get behind. That's who our community pulls behind. That's why we
mhm,
have the environment and the culture that we have is because of people like you. And like
Thank you.
me, in my 20s, the gym would just be full of like really good looking, ripped people that like are the best athletes, like professional athlete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that's not what you, when you came into Oxford, needed. You didn't care what my athletic background was.
Hmm.
You didn't care what I was doing, like what I was eating, you didn't care about any of that stuff. All you cared about was that I wanted to work out with you when I saw you,
Hmm.
and I asked you what your goals are,
Hmm.
and I tried to help you get there. Right? It's
Yeah.
so basic, it's so simple, but it's not easy because we get caught up in all the other stuff, right?
Hmm.
Competing and like just stuff that just doesn't matter
Hmm.
to somebody coming into a gym who like
Hmm.
keeps falling off every 3 months. It doesn't matter to you how good Ant is at muscle ups. That doesn't change how you, Carlos, will improve your life. It doesn't matter if
Absolutely.
Ant at his gym has 10 rowers or 5 rowers or 6 barbells or 12 barbells. That shit does not matter. It only matters that I've asked you what your goals
Hmm.
are and how I can help you get there. And then we put in some, stuff to get you there. And like you're just a true testament of that over the last 10 years. And
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what you do next. Like life's not been easy. You've had another baby. And so
Yeah.
you're back like 10 years ago, you're back in that trying to fight for your routine and stuff again, but you're doing a great
Yeah.
job. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're 10 years in, man. Like I think the only good place to start, I'll finish this, is like, what are your goals now?
Hmm. uh, my, I think my goals, and again, you said it best. Like it's, I thought I was like 9 years into child rearing, and now I'm back to like year one. So like, I think part of my goals is still like is to live a healthier lifestyle, just to be around my kids and be able to keep up with them, you know. But I do definitely have other goals that I want to like get to. Like now that like I've done certain things that I thought I couldn't do. One of my goals is to probably do a triathlon. I think you and I have talked about that in the past. And then I think last year too, I was thinking about uh, doing beach brawl because that is something that I also would want to do.
Yeah.
And I think last year, and again, I'm not making an excuse, but last year because we had some personal stuff going on, I
You had a
wasn't
new
able to
baby.
get like ready.
You had a new
Well,
baby.
yeah, and then other like medical stuff that
Yeah.
also was happening with my family stuff. Like I I lost track of what those goals were. But I think 2026 is that year that I want to like get myself back into track and be the best version of myself, that I can. And I think Laura and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. It's like leading by example. Like I was telling you, like now my kid or like Zoe knows that hey, I have dad is going to the gym, or if I come back in from in the mornings, like she already knows like oh you went to the gym. My wife does the same thing. It's like okay, what's your schedule for the gym this week? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, just because it's now part of who I am and my the fabric of who I am kind of thing. Like making sure that I get to the gym. If I don't get to the gym, it's probably because I'm injured or because I went too hard a little bit on something. But other than that, like I'm always at the gym.
Yeah, man. That's big goals, dude. Like what's the thing that's gonna like what's the hardest bit about the triathlon for you?
Swimming,
Okay.
definitely swimming.
Yeah.
I even last year I thought I was gonna be able to make the triathlon, and I even joined like they call it masters class, swimming uh, class kind of thing, and basically there are swimmers from all across, any kind of walk of life. Like there are like people who have been doing this for like 20 years, and there are people who are like I know how to paddle, but I
Yeah.
want to get better. And then there are like some coaches that are there to like help you, give you some pointers. But one thing I realize is, I think with like just with anything, and again, I'm not over trying to simplify it, but it's just a matter of getting into the water and being more comfortable around the water, which I think what I struggle with, and also fear of being in open water, right? It's also like in the back of my head, but I'm like, I keep thinking to myself, well, if I get better in the pool, I'll be better at the open water thing. And I've come to realize that it's not like that. I'm in my head. I think I'm just making excuses,
Hmm.
and it's just a matter of like, hey, just get to the pool, and then practice your weakness. That we always preach, like we preach at the gym.
Yeah.
Like work on your weaknesses, and I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah. And that's why it's such a great goal, because it's kind of scary, like, and you've done everything else. Like, you've done a marathon, so that's not scary.
Yeah.
You've done, all kinds of high rocks and tough mudders and all that stuff, so that's not scary anymore. So, like, it seems to me like the perfect goal. So I'm excited for you.
Hmm.
Cool,
Yeah.
man. All right. Well, we're at like 45 minutes, so I think we'll wrap it up there, and then would love to do it again sometime in the year and see how you get
Of
along with
course.
the triathlon.
Yeah. Yeah. We'd love to do it.
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for
Mhm.
being a good friend, and thank you for being such a great coach and a leader in the gym.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep. Nice being you guys.
Yep. Have a good day, everybody, and we'll see you at the gym. If you want to do a triathlon with Carlos, just hit him up. And if you're interested in the coaching course, hit me up and at ox.fit. Have a great Thursday.
See
Bye.
you guys. Bye bye.